Hi there. I'm going to go ahead and start doing some character breakdowns on everybody in Pokemon Arena. I'm going to go ahead and start today with Charmeleon. Let's just get right to it. So right here we have his physical stance. So we've got Fire Fang, Fire Punch, Shadow Claw, which is supposed to be a ghost move, but I haven't switched it back. We got Flare Blitz. Alright, as you can see, it's not very effective against Wartortle. Let's go ahead and just switch him to a neutral. Okay, we'll do it on Jolteon for now. So Fire Fang, you hit pretty small amount of damage, builds up burn a little bit, not too much, but you can rapidly chain it because the cooldown is ultra low, I mean. Then we've got Fire Punch, longer cooldown, but it does a nice knockdown. Shadow Claw does a pretty decent amount of damage, but it's mostly effective if you counter hit or hit somebody in the back. That way you get a much longer stun, and it critical hits for a lot higher damage. And then Flare Blitz hurts yourself, but does a pretty reasonable amount. Also, if you hit in the back, does quite a bit of damage. The idea behind the physical is you want to do your best to land Shadow Claw, and then you can combo like this. Very, very large amount of damage. That is the optimal way to use him. Setting up Shadow Claw is pretty important. You can either hit the back like we said before, or you can try to counter hit. Counter hitting is a little tricky. It's not the fastest move in the world, but you can do a couple of things to force a setup. So if you can run at somebody, dodge behind them, and then go for it, that can work. You can also go for a Hyper Dash setup. There's lots of ways to do it. It's relatively safe if you screw it up. You can also just dodge out of it whenever you want, or cancel it into something safer and just escape. So he's a pretty low risk Pokemon overall in this style, and that is Charmeleon Physical. Next up we'll do the Special. Okay, Special Charmeleon. Let's go through his moves. We got Flamethrower. Hits twice. We have Dragon Pulse. Big giant explosion pushes people off. Major downside is the cooldown takes forever. Will-O-Wisp. It is an instant burn. In this game, pretty much everything does some amount of damage. But burn, in case you don't know, it does damage over time and halves your damage output. And then we have Fire Spin, which if you land it, they're stuck in it. There's two ways out of it. You could either use Rapid Spin or Defog or something else that gets rid of that sort of thing. Or if you have a move that is fast enough, you can break out of it. But Fire Spin blocks you from switching. It also resets your switch cooldown, so you can't actually switch for a pretty long time after it. And you can't Hyper Dash, which is that move. So you're kind of in trouble if you get stuck in that. So Special Charmeleon's main idea is you want to operate as much as you can at your Fire Spin range. There's plenty of ways to do it. The Dragon Pulse kind of enables it. You can knock him into it, basically force a burn. It's really hard to get out of this. And the idea is to just basically trap them in it as much as you can. You can also cancel Fire Spin out of Flamethrower. You have to space it pretty well for that actually to work. But if you can do it, then it works pretty nice. So about here, and they're stuck in it. So you kind of want to operate at about this range. If they get close, you go for a Dragon Pulse and just try your best to put them back in that spot. I'll reset some cooldowns here. You can also do stuff like this. You're gonna miss that setup, but if they're ultra close to you, it might work. Also, if you're on the receiving end of a Fire Spin, you can walk into it, but you cannot walk out. And that is Charmeleon. You want to try to keep the burn as long as you can, apply the Fire Spin, and that sort of stuff. Also, you can knock people out of it if you hit them too hard like that, so you gotta be careful with your Dragon Pulse. Alright, next up is the Support Charmeleon role. Okay, we have Support Charmeleon. So generally speaking, support Pokemon would be helpful to your teammate in some way, or just generally detrimental to your target. You're not going to do a ton of damage, you're not really going to be a huge threat. It's more of a minor, slow-burning threat that can cause problems over time. So he borrows some moves from his specialist role. You've got Fire Spin still, you've got Will-O-Wisp again. But with this moveset, he also gets Protect, which kind of functions as a parry. Ooh, that graphic is not where it's supposed to be. Ignore that for now. And then we've got Scary Face, which lowers the speed over time, or for each hit. You have to be extra close for it to land, but of course you can fire spin and then do that a couple of times. And now, as you can see, he's not moving particularly fast. He used to be very quick, and now he is not. Okay, so Protect, it's pretty simple. There's not really much to it. I'll go ahead and just demonstrate it here. Protect does a couple of special things. So it's a parry, pretty much. Keeps you at, it lets you do a couple of things right after it, mostly just to let you move immediately. But more importantly, you take no damage. It's one of the only ways to completely stop damage in this game. So let's do this. And then see, I did Scary Face immediately. So it gives you as much time as you need right after to do whatever you want. You can also do something like this and just dash out. And then finally you can dodge. Really, it just opens you up to playing really defensively. That's kind of this one's idea. You're going to want to burn, you're going to want to trap them in fire spin. You can slowly try to kill them, protect yourself, and cripple them by dropping their speed down so much that either A, they have to swap out, or B, you just kind of run away and cook them over time. It's really hard to get out of fire spin if you can't move very fast. And that is support Charmeleon. Next up is Specialist. Alright, we got Specialist Charmeleon now. So Specialist role can be any number of things. It can be a mix between physical, special, and support all in one. It can be just a hard focus on one particular thing, like doing damage over time or doing as much damage as possible. It can be a lot of different things. Charmeleon is doing as much damage as you possibly can. Also, he can compete in a weather war if somebody else is trying to fight you on that one. So let's go ahead and just go through his whole moveset. Dragon Tail, on hit, forces a swap out. Then we have Flamethrower, which was also from Special. We also have Blast Burn, which does an incredible amount of damage if you can land it. Major downsides to it, it's got a really long cooldown, but if you also miss it, there's plenty of time for you to get hit, so it's not something you want to use unless you know it's going to land. But as you can see, that's a very long cooldown, so it's not something you can keep trying. Finally, we have Sunny Day. Before we activate it, let's quickly observe Flamethrower on hit, how much damage it does. There we go. And with Sunny Day active, here's how much it does. So quite a bit more. So Sunny Day is going to increase your damage output if you are a fire type. It decreases water damage output, and also it activates Charmeleon's ability Solar Power, which makes him also do more damage on top, but he takes slow damage over time. Let's go ahead and see Sunny Day with Blast Burn. It basically one-shots, well, not even basically, it just flat out one-shots Ivysaur and he is out. Doesn't do that with everybody, but it's a lot and you don't really want to get hit by it. Having said that, easy to shut down Sunny Day if anybody else changes the weather. But that is Specialist Charmeleon. So while we're here, let's go ahead and show his super move as well. No reason not to. Inferno Overdrive. Now this move with Sunny Day active, in most cases, will one-shot if you land it. Super moves aren't going to come up terribly often. You have to be out for quite a bit of time and do quite a bit of damage to earn it. But a Specialist role is probably the best and the most ideal role to play if you're trying to get your super. Basically, they work the best if you can keep your Pokemon in for a long period of time, generally speaking. Also, if you don't like who you're fighting against, you can Dragon Tail somebody out, so that's always helpful. Anyways, that's Charmeleon. We'll go over another Pokemon, probably Wartortle next, in the next video. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.